Alright guys, welcome back to another video. I gotta be quiet because there's residents here and it's only just after 6:30 in the morning. As you can see, I've got a canoe here. Today I'm gonna test out my new 30-year-old fiberglass canoe. I'll fill you in more as we get going. I got the gear loaded up. Let's get under the water and see if this thing floats. What is the whole deal with this 30-year-old canoe? All right, let's go. Wouldn't that be funny if I just tipped as soon as I got in? We're in the boat and we didn't tip over. Okay. While we're in shallow water, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a feel. It's actually quite stable. There is a slight breeze, which is good because then I want to see how this boat tracks. It does have a full keel, which is actually a pretty deep keel. And I want to see how this canoe paddles. How does it feel for stability? And are there any leaks? I've got all the gear. I got my throw rope. I've got a little bail bucket. Of course, I've got I have a set of just these pretty simple wood paddles that I've had for years because I used to borrow somebody's canoe, so I bought my own paddles. And I have been wanting to get a canoe for years. Now I haven't paddled a canoe for a while, so bear with me if I'm banging the gunnels. I will try my best not to. Now I also brought a kayak paddle because when I'm solo paddling in a canoe, especially if it's windy, I do like to use a kayak paddle at times. There we go. Now, let's take a look at what we've got going on in the boat. So here you go. What's with the blue foam pad? One, it helps from stuff sliding around, and it does allow a little bit of cushioning because usually I take my sandals off. I've got bare feet, so it's comfortable, especially if the water is cold. It's going to give me some insulation. Once we get the puppy going, he'll have a spot to sit where it'll be comfortable for him. It'll be insulated, it won't be too cold. And so that's what the foam pad is. It weighs nothing and it really does help. The only thing that I've had to do is I replaced this yoke. The seats are the original seats. Everything else is the original. And so far, I'm liking this. Okay. Wow. This thing cruises. If you guys notice, I'm sitting in the front of the boat. That is typically the back seat. And the reason why I'm doing that is if I was sitting at the furthest seat, then that's going to bring the front of the canoe up and it's not going to track as well. So I'm sitting in the front seat facing the back seat, but I'm going forward, if that makes any sense. So far, I'm not noticing any water coming in other than just the water from when I stepped inside the boat. Take a look here. Nope. Nope. Bone dry. So while I'm cruising along here, I'm going to give you just a tiny little bit of the history behind this boat. This is a 14-foot fiberglass CADORETTE, or CADORETTE, I think, because it is from Quebec. That company started in the 1950s, and they put out their first fiberglass molded canoe in the early 70s. Now, I don't know what year this specific boat was made, but I do have a serial number on the boat which is molded into the fiberglass, and you can see it clearly. So I'm going to research it more to see if I can find out what year this boat was made. As far as the condition of this boat, it's in really good shape. I got this from a very nice elderly gentleman who had this sitting in his yard for over 20 years under a tarp. There is one minor crack that I have repaired already, so it wasn't right through, so I've already patched that up. And then over on the front, there's two dings here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to continually layer these until I can sand it down and then it has the proper shape, and then I will touch up some paint with this. This is the original yoke, and you can see how it's rotted out here. The boat was laying on its edge for a number of years, so obviously some water pooled, and that's why you can see it's all rotted out. So it didn't cost much, maybe 50 bucks worth of materials, put in a new yoke and a little bit of fiberglass repair, and that's it. We are good to go. The gentleman that I got it from, he got it from his brother who had it for 10 years, and that's why I'm saying that it's believed to be 30-year-old canoe. I'm not really a fan of the white. It doesn't really bother me as long as it floats. That's the main thing. I thought about painting it, but then again, the more I've researched this, it's almost like I have a piece of Canadian history, and other than having to change out the yoke because it was rotten and it was ready to just pop right out, maybe I shouldn't mess with it, because you know, it's a piece of history. When I was loading the boat on the Jeep, the gentleman said to me, well, look at that, it matches your car and that'll make the wifey happy. I thought that was kind of funny. So I didn't buy a white canoe to match the white Jeep at all, but that's kind of funny. All right, I'm glad there is a slight breeze, because it's really giving me a sense of what it's going to be like on windier days to paddle solo. So it's always something to consider. Normally I would kneel down and get myself more centered, but at the moment I can't do any kneeling, so that's not going to happen. There's enough room in here for the two of us to get out, and the dog with some gear. I mean, that'll weight the boat down quite a bit, but from what I'm feeling, it's really quite stable. Okay, I'm gonna cruise down to the end against this light breeze, and then I'm gonna let that breeze take me back. I'm only out for a quick stroll. This is a test run of this canoe. It's not a fishing video, but I'm on the water, so I kind of have to. So funny thing, I brought everything. I got all the gear that I need. Got stuff in dry bags. I even brought rain pants. My rain jacket is sitting in the back seat of the Jeep, and we've got a couple of sprinkles of rain coming down. It's not too bad. I'm not too far from where I launched. If it really starts to come down, it's not forecasted to rain much, but of course, forget the rain gear and it starts to rain. For years, when I lived out in the Rockies, I did a lot of canoeing. Even way back in the high school days, I was part of the canoe club, and I remember doing weekend trips with the school. So I've done quite a bit of paddling, canoe, kayak, paddleboard, and I like cruising in a kayak for sure because you can really cover some ground, but my favorite is to be out in a canoe. And the way this worked out with this particular boat, this is awesome. So you know there's going to be some upcoming adventures. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Chris, and I do everything outdoor adventuring. And I just got myself a new 30-year-old canoe, and I love it. There was a slight breeze when I launched, which was good because I could get a feel for crosswinds. It tracks nicely, but now the water's just dead glass, which is making this a very nice trial run. Cloud is breaking. I'm gonna get blasted with some sun. It's already warming up quite a bit. The bugs are coming out. Like I was saying, I've been out on the water for about an hour. I'm gonna start cruising back to the launch area. This was just a test run, so short little video, but I wanted to show you our new toy for this summer. We're gonna have a ton of fun in this canoe, and I'm gonna research it a little more to find out about this company and how far back these particular boats date back to, because this is Canadian made, and so I've got a little piece of Canadian canoe history here, which is really cool. While you're watching this video, hopefully I get it uploaded in time, I will be out on a weekend adventure for pike fishing season opener. We've been planning this for a little while. We've got a full day adventure ahead of us. That video will be out in a couple weeks, but yeah, packing the gear up today and then heading out hopefully to slay some pike. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Just a short one to show you the new toy we have for this summer. We're really going to enjoy this. So far, I am loving this canoe. So stay tuned, because you know how the summer is going to go once we have this new toy in the water. So as always, I will see you on the next adventure.